Când mai vrei să te joci, să rămâi în curtea noastră.
Bine, mami.
De câte ori ți-am spus să nu pleci de lângă casă când te joci?
Mami.
În fiecare din noi e un mic Bigfoot, nu?
Ai auzit? Superman este la TV. Lois și Clark la Warner TV. Mâine.
I came to New York when I was 19, and I came from Texas. And I had left Michigan, where I grew up in Detroit, and I set out to see the world, and for some reason or other I went to Texas first. And then I was there for less than a year, and I took a train to New York. So I arrived in Grand Central Station. I couldn't believe the people rushing and the crowds and the pace. And I remember I asked a man in a newsstand where something was, and he said, "Over there." And I almost cried because I felt like I had done something wrong. It took me a while to get used to the form of friendliness in New York, rather brusque compared to Texas at that time. I remember the first time that I saw a film. I don't remember what the film was, but it took place in New York. And I remember the feeling when I saw it. I went, "Oh, it's not all Detroit." So I couldn't wait to get to New York. I came to New York when I was 19, and I came from Texas. And I had left Michigan, where I grew up in Detroit, and I set out to see the world, and for some reason or other I went to Texas first. And then I was there for less than a year, and I took a train to New York. So I arrived in Grand Central Station. I couldn't believe the people rushing and the crowds and the pace. And I remember I asked a man in a newsstand where something was, and he said, "Over there." And I almost cried because I felt like I had done something wrong. It took me a while to get used to the form of friendliness in New York, rather brusque compared to Texas at that time. I remember the first time that I saw a film. I don't remember what the film was, but it took place in New York. And I remember the feeling when I saw it. I went, "Oh, it's not all Detroit." So I couldn't wait to get to New York.
Yeah, I was born on West 68th Street in Manhattan. A lot of people think I've come from Brooklyn, but no, I'm one of the true native New Yorkers. I was born in an apartment on West 68th Street, 250. Everyone else in the family was born in a hospital but me. So I really felt I lacked something early on, but you know what? It was a great experience for me. I loved it. I see that place every so often, once in a while. I took great pride in being from New York. For the first 10 years of my life that I lived in New Jersey, I resented the fact that I lived in New Jersey, and people would ask me, "Where are you from?" I would say New Jersey, and then rightly say New York City. But it's New Jersey, and I knew early on that I loved New York. You know, that stereotypical thing, if you're Italian, you come from, you know, you're soprano land, whatever, and certainly that's not me. I like to think of myself as an educated Italian. You know what I mean? Heterosexual, educated Italian. Not that there's anything wrong with the other kind, don't get me wrong. But I don't know. I think, you know, someone somewhere on the internet today, the information age, they put down that I'm from Brooklyn, and I never bothered to contest it, and apparently it's gone all through the internet. And there's no way that I can tell them I'm not from Brooklyn. I never lived in Brooklyn. I wouldn't know how to get from one street to another in Brooklyn. I'm a Manhattanite. That's where I was born. Now I live in Saddle River. Much of my informative years, I would say, was in the Bronx, and I was never really permitted to get on the L structure or the train to downtown because it was considered very dangerous to travel that far. And unfortunately, my children, who I later have, suffered the same problem that I had. I had no trust in the city. I thought someone would get hurt, you know, and I wouldn't allow my kids to go downtown by themselves unless I was with them. I wouldn't allow them to go ice skating on the ice unless I was with them. I wouldn't allow them to go rowboating unless I was with them. But as I began to go into the city of Manhattan, or the borough of Manhattan, I began to love it and realize how safe it truly is and how wonderful it is to be a part of. I mean, working in New York City was, as an actor, it was extraordinary for me. Because I was able to fall out of bed and go to work and do what I love to do, and that's act. I'm an observer of people, and most actors are. You see something, a guy walks by, a little tick that he has, some nervous energy, some woman walks by, something. Eventually, you probably would see that thing that I was most interested in some movie character that I'd play. And New York City, those kinds of things happen more often than anywhere else. The only thing I knew about movies, and only because I had an uncle who, we were quite poor. I had no father. I had a father, but he was nomadic, and he had 7 kids in the family. So there wasn't too much money to go around. We lived on what Italians call pasta fazool, and if anyone had a steak, it was my father whenever he visited, maybe once every year or so. My images were movies that I had seen. The reason we got into those movies was we had an uncle who was like an usher, and he would sneak us in. And I would see the serials, and I would see men like Wallace Berry, who for the longest period of time was my father. I would look at him, the image, that's my father. He looked, my father was a burly guy, handsome man. And then I made up images of my father because people would ask me questions like, where is your father? You know, he wasn't there. But I said, well, he's prison chasing. Well, what do you mean prison chasing? Well, he's taking prisoners from Cleveland to New York. I had no idea where I came from. And I only remembered to say that because when I saw movies, I saw people dressed with hats and raincoats, and they were always police officers. So I developed in my own mind that my father was this cop with a raincoat on and a hat, and he went to Cleveland and back to New York. And that was it. I got my images from the movies. I loved the movies, but no time in my life did I ever think that I could accomplish what they do on the screen. I never thought it was possible. I thought those people came from Hollywood. Certainly not New York, because we're real people. They are not. New York. Some of these days, you're gonna miss me, baby. Some of these days, you're gonna feel so lonely. You're gonna miss my hugging. You're gonna miss my kissing. You're gonna miss me, baby. When you're long gone away, well, I hope you feel lonely. And you want me only 'cause you know, pretty baby, you've always had your way. Say, baby, when you leave me, you know you're gonna grieve me. You're gonna miss your tall, thin Danny some of these days.
Vara s-ar putea să se fi terminat.
What?
Dar nu vă faceți griji.
Guys, I have exciting news.
What is it?
La Warner TV, aventurile nu se opresc niciodată.
Want to try it?
Aventurile de marți. În fiecare marți la ora 20:30 la Warner TV.
We made it, gang.
Oregon.
She sure is pretty, huh, boss?
She sure is. And she's ours for the taking.
Yeah.
Guys, wait up. I'm having trouble steering my horse. Okay,
Turn left.
no, mine's broken. It's broken.
No, the other left, my left.